From understated returns to form from a comedy giant to notable offerings that no doubt set the stage for greater things to come. You may not have heard much about these outstanding turns, but all that is about to change. I'm Gareth from WhatCulture.com, and here are 10 great TV show performances no one ever talks about. Number 10. Scoop McNAIRY, True Detective. Few would argue with the third season of HBO's anthology crime series True Detective being seen as something of a return to form after a fairly divisive prior outing. And while the Oscar-winning Mahershala Ali undoubtedly did a lot of the dramatic heavy lifting throughout as Arkansas State Police Detective Wayne Hayes, another and arguably equally impressive turn from that last season has often been overlooked when looking back on the series in general. Taking up the reins of Tom Purcell, a dad whose 2 children have gone missing, Scoop McNAIRY takes us on one hell of a journey here, as he grapples with his sexuality, alcoholism, a flailing marriage, and the anguish that comes with your offspring being stolen away. And he achieves all this with the sort of subtlety and nuance that many have come to expect from the often compelling character actor. Sure, McNAIRY has perhaps picked up more acclaim and attention from his works in the likes of Argo and Halt and Catch Fire, but it's hard to look past this regularly forgotten gem of a deeply complex portrayal of a broken and desperate man as his finest turn to date. Number 9. John Malkovich, Space Force. The fact that Netflix's lackluster blast-off that was Space Force managed to secure a second season at all was enough to leave many a casual onlooker scratching their heads. But one quick glance at the routinely riotous time John Malkovich appeared to be having on set more than justifies this second stab at space comedy. While the likes of Steve Carell, Lisa Kudrow, and Ben Schwartz may not have done much to maintain audiences' attention in the show, Malkovich excels whenever he is given a second to flex his comedic muscles. His Dr. Adrian Mallory's frequent bouts of sparring with Carell's General Mark Arnard make for some of the most side-splitting back and forth you'll stumble upon on the streaming service, as Malkovich adds his usual unexpected electricity to even the most questionable of scripts. If you missed the star going full Malkovich last time out, be sure to buckle up for season 2 in February. Number 8. Florence Pugh, Little Drummer Girl. Long before she was kicking Clint Barton's ass or even picking up Academy Awards nods for her work on Little Women, Florence Pugh was making her first real splash as part of BBC's The Little Drummer Girl miniseries. As the mysterious Charmaine Charlie Ross, Pugh lines up alongside the likes of Michael Shannon and Alexander Skarsgård, but undoubtedly eclipsed both Hollywood names in her mesmerizing depiction of an actress suddenly roped into the world of espionage. Is it a surprise that Pugh would go on to pop up in everything from Fighting With My Family to Midsommar in the wake of this performance that showed a level of maturity and mastery of her art way beyond her years so early in her career? Number 7. Russell Tovey, Years and Years. Sticking with another British drama series that isn't spoken of nearly as much as it deserves to be, 2019's Years and Years saw a truly stacked cast of thespians all navigate themselves through a dystopian Britain, as both political and technological changes impact the entire country, including the little unit of the Lyons family. Among this squad was none other than Russell Tovey's frequently engaging Daniel, a character who is driven to protect the man his heart belongs to as the country's political goalposts keep moving. With this drive to protect comes a deeply layered turn from the Brit, with Tovey imbuing Daniel with as much fierce arrogance as he does compassion and loyalty over the course of the often heartbreaking series, forging quite the small screen career since turning heads as a werewolf in Being Human. Years and Years prove once again why Tovey is up there with the finest Brits working on telly today. Number 6. Daniel Radcliffe, Miracle Workers. Danny Radcliffe has enjoyed quite the eclectic output since his days in the wizarding world, but arguably the most unexpected and perhaps underrated of these projects comes in the form of his gloriously bizarre performance as part of TBS's Miracle Worker, a show that hilariously delves into a different work throughout each increasingly nutty season. Dialing it up again for season 3's Oregon Trail Tale, Radcliffe steals the show once more during a coming round the mountain scarcely called song and dance number that more than earns this comedy a spot on your watch this immediately list. Seriously, go and give it a watch, it's a good time. Number 5. Kevin Bacon, The Following. Though he tends to be more widely known for his EE British mobile network exploits in modern times, it never hurts to remind yourself just how damn captivating Kevin Bacon can be when given the right material to chew on. Said material most definitely came into existence when the star got the chance to lead Fox's mid-2010s crime thriller The Following as FBI agent Ryan Hardy. During this 3-season run, Bacon would make a habit out of elevating a frequently graphic show that sometimes veered too closely towards the cliches within the hunting for a serial killer particular subgenre. But playing such a battered and beaten character once again highlighted that Chops Bacon isn't nearly given enough chances to show off on the big stage, with the actor expertly bringing the tortured life of this once retired FBI agent into existence, and even picking up a Saturn Award for Best Actor on television for his work. But even with that gong in the cabinet, it wasn't long before the following was itself mercilessly killed off, with a turn many would class as one of Bacon's finest being largely forgotten in the years since its cancellation in 2015. Number 4. Daniel Kaluuya, Black Mirror. Going on to become a thoroughly mind-bending hit that just about every actor worth their salt is champing at the bit to appear in at some point down the road, the earlier stages of Black Mirror gave us a brief glimpse into what the future would or could hold for not just the unsuspecting tech-obsessed human race, but a rising British star. In Daniel Kaluuya's turn as Bing Madsen in 15 Million Merits, we see the eventual Black Panther and Get Out artist really grow into a serious on-screen presence, entrancing those watching on with his nuanced exploration of what a person is willing to do to break free from a system he is tired of being trapped and manipulated by, with many being quick to point to Kaluuya's charming work as Posh Kenneth during his run on Skins, or even his award-winning theatre work as part of Roy Williams' Sucker Punch as the roles that put him on the map. The fact that Jordan Peele has even got on record to admit that it was Kaluuya's Black Mirror tour de force showing that earned him his starring part in Get Out only hammers home how important a milestone this often forgotten Black Mirror entry was for the now Oscar winner's career. Number 3. Jean Smart, Mayor of Easttown. Much of the praise and admiration thrown towards 2021's HBO crime drama Mayor of Easttown, led by the always impressive Kate Winslet, was quite rightly sent the leading lady's way. But propping up this powerhouse performance from Winslet was an ensemble cast each worthy of their own portion of sizable acclaim, with Jean Smart in particular being largely overlooked when banging the drum for this twisting and turning story. As Mayor Sheehan's mother, Helen Fahey, Smart turned scene stealing into an art form, but still finds the time to lay some genuine heart into a character who acts as the sharp-witted comedic relief in an often painfully dark tale. Likely not aided by the fact that Smart also caught critics' eyes with her brilliant words on Hacks in 2021, her wicked yet warm foil to Winslet's often stoic Mayor made for some of last year's most exhilarating and underappreciated viewing. Number 2. Jim Carrey, kidding. No, not kidding, never mind. After absolutely tearing it up throughout the late 90s and early 2000s as one of the most diverse and unpredictable performers of his generation, the great Jim Carrey experienced something of a dip in form. The likes of Mr. Popper's Penguins and Dumb and Dumber 2 did little to convince critics and fans alike that Carrey had anything left to offer, but then the Liar Liar sensation decided to turn his attention to the small screen, and with Showtime's Kidding, he managed to stumble upon said former genius. Settling into the shoes of the Fred Rogers-esque Jeff Picarillo like he'd been wearing them for a lifetime, Carrey's Jim Pickles acts as a comforting light to kids throughout his friendly puppet show, but also harbors the pain brought on by one of his sons being tragically killed in a car accident. As the show unfolds, Carrey expertly gives us glimpses of a man broken by a savage world, without ever allowing his relentless optimism to come across as caricature. As stellar a turn as this was, Kidding ultimately bit the dust after 2 seasons, with Carrey since disappearing into the less inspiring territory of the Sonic the Hedgehog franchise. Number 1. Maggie Gyllenhaal, The Deuce. With a career as littered with challenging performances as Maggie Gyllenhaal's, it's only natural for a few of those outstanding turns to be overlooked when celebrating her finest work. And while there's no doubting that the actor's awesome cinematic performances in the likes of Kindergarten Teacher and Sherry Baby are up there with some of the strongest art you'll see, her TV show turn as Eileen Candy Merrill in The Deuce more than warrants its place as one of the standouts of recent times. Pursuing a life as part of the emerging pornographic industry in the 70s as a sex worker, Gyllenhaal is unmissable as she grows into a powerhouse businesswoman within the industry, whilst enduring acts of sexual abuse and harassment along the way. But even with a Golden Globe nod to her name for a time as the beautifully subtle Candy, that still couldn't stop The Deuce from being canned after its 3rd season in 2019. Though the constantly evolving actor has since begun forging an equally acclaimed and celebrated career behind the camera, not enough of a fuss was made over this truly spellbinding and fearless HBO showing, and it's well worth a revisit should you want to see Maggie prove why she's one of the best in the business going today. And that's our list. Know of any other great TV show performances no one ever talks about? Let us know all about them in the comment section right down below, and do not forget to like, share, and click on that subscribe button. Also, be sure to head on over to whatculture.com and find more incredible articles just like the one this video you are watching is based on. I've been Gareth from whatculture.com. Thank you as always for clicking on this video today, and I'm sure I'll see you very, very soon. Bye bye!